the fundamentals to these concepts, and then the questions and the exams is going to be you applying those fundamentals. Then just here, just remember this. You know that this is a thing that's asked about. How many times have I asked or been asked? Has there been a question about this, or do you know what they're going to ask in the exam? When really it should be more, what do you know, and how are you going to use that to answer a broad range of questions, which would be ideal.
Yeah.
Even if it is a bit more difficult.
No. I will probably just Okay, so running out of time. One of the questions I wanted to ask. So as fifth year, do you know what a good physicist looks like by now? So one of the they are supposed to. It's the academic job to take you as a new person who's done like advanced higher physics and has watched TV. So that's what you think a physicist looks like, and then to develop your understanding of what being a good physicist looks like, so that you can become that. I'm not explaining this very well. I'm trying to ask, do you know what's expected of you? Because they expect you to end up as a good physicist, right? That's how they would think of it. Like if I said, what do you want them to be good at, these students, by the end, they'd say, well, I want them to be good at physics. Do you know what that means?
Yeah, from watching my supervisor, mainly. Just because I think in terms of, he's like a role model for me, because I don't think I really understood, you know what I mean?
I was going to say that, but I feel like that is just one person that you've seen do something.
But still...
I feel like there could be more. Imagine if in third year, the lecturers the lab assistants that would teaching the things, we're teaching them about their own, they set the experiments based on their own experience, so they had an even more involved. So it's like
PhD students and postdocs.
That's true. I feel like it's a mix.
A lot of the time, a lot of the time there was Ola Polinsky, there was Yu Chen.
Okay.
Lockerbie.
You don't get to have a discussion with them the same way, and watch I was watching because obviously we had two supervisors in fourth year, and having and fifth year, but watching the two of them sort of having a discussion about. Something happened in my project that they weren't sure about, and then watching them have a discussion was for me that is what being a physicist is, you know,
because it's all done intuitively.
You're not, when you get into research, you don't know the answers, so you have to sit there and discuss it and try different things, and I think that's where I learn most about what's expected of me later on in a job.
Yeah, I'll retcon what I said earlier. I do think my project was very I feel like I learnt so much during my project.
Well,
it was the most valuable part of it.
So that was going to be my question. Given what you think a good physicist, I can't want to say physician, it's wrong. A good physicist looks like. Do the assessments actually test that?
No.
I mean, obviously, I know the answer's going to be no for exams.
Maybe some classes, I know, people have come to mind, Brian McNeil was, and I know people may not be a fan, but he definitely did want you. He really tried to make you think. He was really much if you asked him a question, he would ask you a question back. If you were I'm not really sure how to do this, he'd say, well, maybe think about this, and sometimes it was annoying if
he would not give you an
sometimes if you just were completely lost, it was annoying because you'd have to say look, I have no idea, I just need you to give me a basis. But if you've maybe done some revision and have that basis, you could be okay, he'll give you the direction and then you figure it out from there, rather than just maybe another lecturer might just be oh well, you do this, and then you just end up copying what they did.
And did that guy set better assessments, or were his assessments? Was that reflected?
I can't remember.
No.
Oh, I'll say. Was it not? statistical physics
Yeah.
one year was
Yeah, I don't want to talk about
absolute
it.
nightmare of it.
The exam. He changed the
changed
format
it.
of the exam.
Oh, yeah, I
You-
remember now.
That's why you don't remember it.
I've
You've
blocked-
tried to
I've blacked
forget about
out.
it.
So the past papers were.
Sorry.
Get up now.
Yeah, it does say get up now.
But there's a lot of new questions and things, so.
So the past papers weren't helpful.
No, but it did make the exam a lot harder.
That was interesting. I did badly. But it was.
But like if when you're thinking about now that you have a good sense of this is what a physicist is supposed to be good at, the exams are a million miles away from that. I'm guessing.
I feel like I might appreciate. This could be completely wrong, but I might appreciate that thermodynamics exam more now. See, because in third year, that's when you do the big jump, and that's when
that's
it
what I
goes.
was saying.
And I feel like Brian McNeil's class was maybe a bit preemptive on trying to get you to do so much from like the ground up.
But he did a lot of foundation. Like he
Yeah.
did relate it to his previous
Uh-huh.
class, which I don't.
Yeah,
I think what you were saying about how does it prepare you for what you think is being a good physicist. I think what it does is it gives you the tools to sort of be a good physicist. If you know what I mean. You're not actually. I think that most of that is done in the project, actually learning how to be a good physicist. But you need to have that groundwork knowledge in the subject first. So that, like, if you're given a graph and it does something different or whatever that you're not expecting, you're not going to be able to decide what it's doing if you don't have the sort of all the basic knowledge that you need.
yeah.
You say, well, I know this happens when this happens, so that's maybe that is affecting this as well. Or
There's not going to be a past paper that has exactly that graph in it, where you can be like, okay, well,
Yeah.
I saw that graph in a past paper, so I'm going to remember it. You have to be like, well, from what I do know, I can interpret this, and you might not be correct all the time, but at least you can give it an attempt, and then feel like you can maybe get reasonable feedback from that.
Okay. Within in the projects, do you know how so you've done a project in fourth year. Was the marking of that in line with what you were expecting? Like, was it fair?
I think it was fair because
you knew what was expected of you when you were doing the project.
and there wasn't really the chance. I don't think many people in fourth year especially got into like the 90s or anything like that. It was which is because they described that I think 95 as like once in a lifetime mark, and how many people really should be getting that? You know, I think 70 sort in the 70s between 70 and 80 was like that was really really good for the project, which I think is fair because you know no one's going to be that good at their first ever proper piece of research that they're going to be getting perfect marks on it. So the marking was fair in that.
And were you given like a marking? You're going to get this many marks for this and this many marks for this.
I think one of the only odd things about the project, comparing it from fourth to fifth year, is I much preferred the fifth year because you felt you were like, when you read those papers, it feels like what you do in fifth year is you're writing one of those papers.
Yeah.
The fourth year one was kind of odd because it was like wanted to be like 30 pages. It was more of a dissertation, but was kind of this kind of in between a lab project and a real piece of research.
I liked that build-up because I think it should have been. Well, they made a big change this year in that this year we were meant to write pretty much the same dissertation again, but they stopped doing that because they found that students were just rewriting what they wrote last year and making minor changes to reflect what they'd done differently. Whereas this year they changed it to actually writing a 4-page paper about your project and giving the results.
Okay.
And the nice thing about that, obviously they couldn't tell us that in fourth year that this is what you're going to be doing in fifth year, but I feel like they should mention it, like they should put that context there. If you're in fourth year, this fourth year is going to be like you getting all of the information down and coming to terms of what, like basically getting like a very good grasp of what your project's about. And then when it comes on to your fifth year, you're going to be going on to like making your own evaluations, seeing the direction of the project, and you'll have a good feel as to where you could take it.
You cover so much material
Yeah.
in fourth year one, it's huge, and you get so in detail into it, which I think you need to do to then be able to do the fifth year
It's
project.
very necessary.
Because you're going to be encountering things where you have to make deductions,
Yeah.
and there's not necessarily an answer out there, so it's important to know everything about that subject.
But something else I found odd about some people's projects that I knew were like literature reviews, which I feel are entirely different. Like I can't imagine if your 4th and 5th year projects